What's up everyone, and welcome to Jayconomics. My name is Jay and it's a pleasure to meet all of you. On this channel, we take a look at anything related to finance with a strong focus on investing. So if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, then please consider subscribing and liking this video to help me on my quest to befriend the big, bad YouTube algorithm. Okay guys, can we take it down a notch and calm down just a little bit? So HYLN stock tanked on its first day trading under the ticker HYLN. Unless you were holding October 2nd calls, which I've been telling everyone to avoid like the plague, well then you're fine. If you own warrants and or shares of this very solid company, you are in a great spot. Just be patient. Before we continue, if you guys can drop an early like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate that as it does help the channel a lot. And thank you for the continued support. We're over 4.5K subs right now and aiming for 5K this week. Also, be sure to join our free Discord. Lots of good dialogue going on in there, so don't miss out on the fun. The link is in the description below. As I've been mentioning for months now, I'm expecting somewhere around the $70 to $80 range. But again, that could be next week, it could be the week after that, it could be the week after that, it could be next month. These are educated guesses, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. If investing was as simple as identifying a SPAC merging date and investing specifically for that date, well, that would be way too easy. There's a lot that goes into being a successful investor, and a lot of it comes down to strategy, discipline, and patience. The market rewards those who have these three attributes. And as I've been preaching on this channel, Hyliion, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's just not. This is a company that I'm invested into long-term and really believe in their mission. So the fact that the price is down now makes absolutely zero difference to me. I'm telling you guys this because this is what you need to do for your own situation, goals, and your own expertise. And what I mean by this is that when you're investing, you should pick companies that you love long-term and with a good chance for big short-term gains. However, you shouldn't strictly be betting on one catalyst on a company you don't care to hold, don't understand, or don't believe in. This is the biggest mistake I see a lot of people making right now. This is why when I go heavy on a position, I'm hoping for short-term gains, of course, but I also love these companies long-term. Hyliion, CloudMD, Well Health Technologies, Lordstown Motors, Workhorse, iPod/OpenDoor. These are all companies that I picked up extremely cheap after doing a ton of research on them. I really like these long term, and I don't really care about the short term price action with them. Yes, I happen to be up a lot on each of these positions right now, but that's just a bonus. I hope this all makes sense and that you guys understand the importance of what I just said. All that being said, going back to Hyliion, Thomas Healy will ring the bell in the AM on Monday for the New York Stock Exchange. And I do expect a nice rebound from current levels, but remember, you gotta give the turtle a break and let Hyliion make you some money. Just be patient, and if you're not comfortable with your investment, then you should not be holding onto it. Next up, we got FMCI Tattooed Chef. Now, I haven't had a chance to really cover FMCI in depth, but I do remain bullish on the plant-based meat industry as a whole. This has a very strong community and a very passionate group of investors as well. I could see this industry as a whole growing for years to come, and Tattooed Chef is in prime position to make this happen. It's also one of those SPACs that have enough hype and enough backing, kind of like a cult almost, to make a solid run even from these levels up until the merger. Today we're seeing FMCI hover around $23, and we did see that unfortunate misunderstanding with the votes for FMCI, but I don't really think this is anything to worry about, and I think we're going to see this kind of clear up in the next couple of weeks. So all in all, FMCI to me is a very solid pick in my eyes, short and long term, if you're a believer in this industry. And with the warrants trading at $8.36, I think this is a pretty good level to be buying these warrants, especially if you're going to average in, as at these levels, you'd be exercising the shares for under $20, which I think in the long term would be a steal. Next up, CCXX merging with Multiplan. And this one, although being a solid company already with a proven track record, we just haven't seen that big pop yet. So the question now becomes, will we ever see that big pop with this stock? Personally, I just don't see the Shell, FMCI, or DPHC pop happening. It just does not garner enough attention. It's not a hype stock at all. But at these levels, if you're willing to be patient, and the key word is you're going to have to be patient, well, the stock is a steal right now with very, very little downside. So the vote is coming up on October 7th, and if everything goes well, the ticker will change a few days later. So in my opinion, this is absolutely worth taking a flyer on with little to no risk. If we see the pop, great. If not, then you have a very solid company at very little risk at these valuations for the future. I think we could top at, maybe somewhere between $13 and $15 at best for the short term. In addition, Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway are interested in Multiplan, so that's always a good sign for any potential investor if the most famous investor of all time is backing a company. Let's actually go check out that article to jog our memories just a little bit. So in it, it's made clear that Buffett and Berkshire are not interested in buying CCXX, they want Multiplan directly. A deal was reached at $11 billion to acquire Multiplan, making it the biggest blank check takeover to date. And so once the merger is finalized, any news from Berkshire could be a catalyst. It needs to push the stock higher. We'll have to see how this all plays out. But with shares trading so low, far out call options being so cheap, and warrants still hovering around $2, I think there are several ways to play this and make money. Next up, we got LCA, and we should be seeing some sort of news on LCA Golden Nugget in the next week or two. And by the way, you could check out my full LCA video from about over a week ago for my full analysis and thoughts on LCA stock. As I did mention in that video, options are still selling for cheap right now, but again, so are warrants. And as you know with SPACs, warrants are the way to go for me. If I was to play options, I would personally stay away from the October ones, as a lot can go wrong here in terms of any delay whatsoever. When you are playing an option based on one major catalyst, in this case the merger, and we've seen now more than a few times the merger being delayed in other SPACs, I just don't think this is worth it. And Shell proved as much as well. I just don't see a big pop for these guys post-merger. But hey, I'm not here to tell you what to do or what to think. Warrants right now are fairly priced in my opinion if you're going to keep this company long term. Options, of course, offer that high potential upside, but significantly increases your risk. So it's a little more like gambling, which I guess would be poetic justice in this case, considering LCA is a gambling stock. But, you need to think about all the scenarios and come up with a plan for yourself before blindly buying call options. Last but definitely not least for today, we got Diamond Peak Holdings and Lordstown Motors. This is my favorite SPAC for the future currently that is still unmerged. We're sitting at $23.40 for shares and $9.50 for warrants. Again, same concept as with Shell. I think these guys will be a big player in the EV space in the years to come. So picking up warrants, even at these prices, is absolutely something I'm comfortable doing. If you remember from my last DPHC video, I showed you that I was holding 125 DPHC warrants at $2.98 each. And full transparency, as always, I did sell 25 of those warrants when it hit $13 because there is nothing wrong with taking profits, and I kind of expected a big dip, as we saw with Shell as well. And so I will be looking to add more warrants next week around these levels. Again, this is a company that I believe in long term though and see the vision, right? So even if we don't see any short-term gains, I'm completely fine with that. And right now, if I had to rank the SPACs I covered today from 1 to 5, my list would go like this. Number 1 would be Hyliion. Number 2 would be Diamond Peak Holdings and Lordstown Motors. Number 3 would be Churchill Capital and Multiplan. Number 4 would be FMCI and Tattooed Chef. And number 5 would be LCA and Golden Nugget. Now, that's just my opinion. That's how I feel about the situation. And in no way am I giving you advice to invest into any of these. You should invest into what you're interested in and what you believe in. So if there's anything I want you to retain from this video, it's to really try and pick companies that you love long-term and hope for short-term gains, as opposed to hoping for short-term gains based on one catalyst and not really understanding or believing in the company long-term. This will drive you nuts, and I see so much of this with HYLiion right now. A lot of people panicking because they didn't see 100% gains on merger day, right? And so, remember, knowing what you own will save you from all of this. All right, guys, that wraps it up for today's episode. Let me know in the comments below which of these SPACs you're invested into, and tell me how you'd rank them from 1 to 5. What do you think of each one? Are they short-term swing trades? Are they long-term holds for you? Let me know. And if this video brought you some value, then please smash that like button for me, as it really does help the channel a lot. And if you want more content like this, then don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell to be notified when any new video comes out. And of course, feel free to join our Smart Money Discord server. It's free and a lot of fun. Until next time, take care and invest smart.